decision to ask questions, I want you to know.
So I was saying that I think you're conspicuously a good fit for Northern Virginia, where fortunately there
Could you say that louder? I actually...
We're saying how many times?
Richard, you're...
Put it up closer.
Perfect.
I was saying he's a good fit for Northern Virginia, and you'll do well up here, I'm sure. I just came from Hampton Roads area, and I've got relatives all across Southern Virginia. What do you tell the 40, 50, 60-year-old fella in the other part of Virginia who, Franklin, for example, the paper mill is no longer there. A lot of these older fellas are out of work, feeling they're too old to learn computers, but there are thousands of them, maybe tens of thousands. I'd love to see you when in that part of Virginia also. What do I say to my relatives down there who are in that situation?
Thank you. So the question is, in part, what is our message to those who've lost their jobs that used to be in, say, manufacturing or other fields that have either been shipped overseas or been reduced through technology? I think one of the reasons that I give us the best chance to win is the fact that those were in fact my constituents. In representing the 5th District of Virginia, that was about 22 counties across central and south side Virginia. And it was really almost like a cross-section of America, because Charlottesville was a blue dot at the top that was almost like a mid-Atlantic area. It was a high growth, high information university town and surrounding areas. Then I went down through the Bible Belt, which is Jerry Falwell's area, and Liberty University. And then into, in some ways, the old manufacturing and tobacco belt that had been hit so hard 20 years ago and hit again during the recession. And that allowed me to try to think about policy in a more global and a little bit less parochial way. One of the things people have asked me before is, why were you 10 years ahead of the curve on the inequality problem? If you go back and look, we were talking about job losses, we were talking about needing to rethink manufacturing and building and making things. And the answer was not that I was smarter than other people, it was just that I had listened to an area that had been in recession before it was cool, as one of them put it to me. And so they had been thinking about this question about how do you create the next generation of jobs long before many of the national pundits had started to take seriously this decimation of the working and middle class. And in doing so, I think that's why I've been so focused on this issue about decentralizing energy and food production in other industries, where so much of the value increasingly is consolidated into just a few zip codes. And communities feel like they're losing sovereignty over their future. It's not just jobs. We sometimes talk about appealing to people's self-interest. All of us care about things that are deeper than our self-interest. It's part of what makes us human. It's part of what we want to appeal to. And when we go out to those areas, for example, and I was in some very red counties this weekend, where they get upset when Dominion wants to consolidate all of the value chain outside of their communities when they know farmers can do it. One of the reasons I was so frustrated about the pipeline is 10 years ago, we were working with farmers and small business owners who've been left out of the global economy to grow their own energy. And Dominion made it harder at every step of the way. We were working with dairy farmers to capture the methane off of cow manure and turn it into clean energy, and they took what had been their single biggest cost on the farm and turned it into a second crop. But the utilities didn't really want to make it easy to sell power back to the grid. It's a different business model than they've had. And the reason that if you look back at that point, as some of you know, I voted for the climate change bill very proudly when I was in, and people saw that as a tough vote. To me, the vote wasn't the tough part. The tough part was going home to those exact voters you're talking about and making real for them that we do take clean energy jobs seriously. This is not hypothetical. This is hands in the dirt. We are going to build and make things again here. And we were doing it, and that's why even in a deeply red district, in a year that was terrible for Democrats, when they spent multi-million dollars against me on the climate vote, when polled on who do you trust more on energy, I was up 24 points in that poll. That's how we win people over. You have to show up, you have to have better ideas, and you have to fight like hell for those ideas and show that you mean it. And I think when we do that and look at this next generation of jobs, then we have a better vision and win.